taxawaay ci réew mi ak sa bëgg-bëgg sell na te wéral nga ko yaa ngi indi réew mi jàmm di def jàmm di ñaanal itam rajo bi ak télévision bi GRTS seen taxawaay ñoom itam ñu ngi góorgóorlu ci liggéey bi di ko rafetal dalee ci bopp bi direct ba ci suuf kenn ku ne ñu ngi lay ñaanal yàlla may ñu ndam ci réew mi musal ci fitna musal ci balaa allahumma ij'al biladana Gambia baladan aminan mutma'innan ya'tiha rizquha ragadan min kulli makan wa najjina min kulli bala wa qala wa ta'un wa sinan wa waba tay min jami zalika biladana khasatan biladal muslimina amma بحرمة اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدر المقدار العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
The River Gambia is one of the most important natural resources we have that is indispensable for our socio-economic development. Unfortunately, we are not maximizing the utilization of the river for our socio-economic development. The River Gambia is a gold mine.
Bright morning sun is beaming over the city of Banjul. As travelers set on their perennial journey across the River Gambia to the coastal town of Barra. It is a 30-minute journey that many embark on every day, but beyond the two coastal settlements, domestic trade and business are vibrant thanks to the River Gambia, which has been an important source of transportation for people, goods and services. On a daily basis, ferries and locally made canoes ply the various river routes, carrying people on different missions, but the majority are traders transporting merchandise to inland or coastal settlements with sizable populations. The river extends some 700 miles through the entire length of a country bearing the same name. It has its source from the Fouta Djallon Highlands, flowing through Senegal before intersecting with the Atlantic Ocean at Banjul. The River Gambia provides access to some settlements in Senegal and Guinea, with nearly 70% of its surrounding land lying less than 100 meters above sea level.
You can also realize that the river is very important because you would have to cross the River Gambia from either the southern bank or the northern bank if you want to travel from one bank of the Gambia to the other. And we are envisaging to have a bridge across Yilitenda, Bamatenda that would enable free flow of goods and services from the north and the southern bank and from the Gambia to our neighboring country. River Gambia is flowing, that nature is flowing, River Gambia is a blind.
The river has both an estuarine and freshwater ecology, defining its surrounding vegetation pattern.
During the dry season, because of the slow flow, you have salt water coming from the Atlantic moving towards Kuntaur. So because of this constraint for agricultural production, we cannot rely on pump irrigation for agriculture because every 100 cubic meters or every cubic meters of fresh water that you pump from the river would attract salt water towards the upper end of the river, that is the eastern part.
Salt water intrusion affects some peripheral environments, especially in the dry season. Whilst in certain areas, the riverside is dominated by swamps and mangroves. Where the water is fresh, the banks are lined with gallery forests. There is captivating wildlife upriver, where dolphins and crocodiles manifest a strong presence. But they have a more domineering neighbor, the hippo, whose massive size and attributes remain a mystery to many locals. The natural habitat provides sanctuary for a host of insect and bird species that fill the environment with sonic melodies. This has been a fete for bird watchers.
As you know, we have over 560 species of birds, and you can access those birds through the river. You can also do hunting on the river and other sporting products. So in essence, what we're trying to do as part of our strategy to develop our product is to make sure we look at the River Gambia in total and try to develop it for the betterment of tourism in the Gambia.
The River Gambia is joined by numerous creeks called bolongs, among them the renowned Bintang Bolong on the south bank, which flows into the river from the south. On the north bank is the legendary Mini Miniang Bolong, across which stands the famous Babili Mansa Bridge. An epic reference to the heroic courage of the Gambian president who built the bridge. The River Gambia is one of Africa's finest waterways that is navigable far inland, even by large vessels. The British, who colonized the Gambia, were said to have centered more attention on the river, both as a resource and means of communication to access the hinterland, where raw materials were being tapped for the home market.
In fact, what attracted Europeans to the Gambia was the River Gambia, to show you how important it is. And the British came to the Gambia because of trade in ivory. Gambia used to have a lot of elephants.
As a result, commercial ports and trading centers were established, especially in major towns of the hinterland, to transport groundnuts and other products. But from the shores of Janjanbureh, the distant horizons of the River Gambia explain an older story, and a more painful one. Before colonization, the Gambia, like the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, went through a dark period of slavery when thousands of locals were transported to Europe and America as slaves. On these very shores are the relics of slave trading posts from where young and able-bodied Africans were shipped to the New World. On the other side of the river is Fort Bullen at Barra Point, built by the British 200 years ago, succeeding James Island Fortress as the main point of defense in the colony. The island is not only a national historical relic, but has become a World Heritage Site.
River Gambia as it stands is underutilized. There are lots of opportunities within the river, like we have over